Right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Brianne. All right.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We're going to have
Of
fun
course.
today. Hope you're hungry. We got some snacks going.
Yes, yes, I've been waiting for these snacks. We'll get into those.
So sadly, I've never had Dunkaroos.
Oh
That's
my
weird. I
gosh.
know, and I didn't order any. I wasn't able to.
I know. I had
How
to run. I
painful.
literally did a search because I didn't order them in time, but I found out that they do carry them at Walmart for anyone that wants to indulge.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
you're
it looks
missing
like
out. You got to get some.
the packaging looks unchanged too.
Yeah, you're right. It's like vintage,
I love
vintage
it.
pack. If it ain't broke,
All right.
don't fix it, right?
It's true. All right, we have a couple friends here in the chat. If you're joining us, welcome. Say hello in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have questions, reactions along the way, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
My guest today is my good friend Brianne Fleming. She teaches branding and social media over at the University of Florida, and you know her as our PopChat queen. She teaches marketing through the lens of pop culture, especially 90s culture. Please
Yes.
welcome Brianne Fleming.
I'm just one big kid, just stuck in the 90s, I guess. I
One
just
big kid.
never want to grow up, so I'm hanging on.
Oh, I gotta say, welcome to the menu, everyone. This is the weekly live YouTube show, hopefully soon to be a podcast if I ever get it
Ooh,
together.
yeah.
Yeah,
This would translate nicely to a podcast.
I hope so. Yeah.
We might have to mute our mics when we're chewing, but besides
Oh, yeah.
that.
I think we will need to. Yeah, for sure. All right. So we have a lot on our menu for today. We have our snacks, and I have a bunch of questions for you regarding Pop Chat and regarding finding your niche, like finding your differentiator. Should we start with our snacks? I think people are running here for the
I mean,
snacks.
I've been waiting since like 1998 when these were discontinued so I can't wait another minute to dig into these.
All right, so my snack
Yeah.
is I can't even say it. Maruchan ramen.
Delish,
Did you
always.
eat this as a child?
Oh yeah, and my brother and I have this debate. Well, it's more so my brother and I are on the same page, but my husband and sister-in-law think we're crazy.
Mhm.
We used to put Parmesan cheese in our ramen and we swear by it. And everyone thinks we're insane, but highly recommend it.
Huh. I mean, that
Cheese makes
sounds
everything better, right? I mean,
it does. I mean,
yeah.
my reflexive response that sounds ridiculous, but I love it. I mean, how ridiculous is it to crunch these up and eat them like that? I can't defend this, but
I've only
it's
eaten them
tasty.
cooked. I've never done the
Oh,
raw thing.
oh, you put it in the cooked ramen. Huh.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense to me though, from a flavor and sort of umami perspective. That
Uh-huh.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some friends in the chat. We have Dan. Hi, Dan. We have Dweja, Nikki, Kushan. Kushan's here.
Sean, hi.
All right, so I'm supposed to crunch this up. Is that how
Oh,
you did
right.
this as a kid? So I
Yes, but
cheated.
we would just kinda, like, break it because if you crushed it too much, then they
Yeah.
weren't really noodles.
Oh, yeah.
We would just, like, break it in 4. Yeah.
Oh,
And
and then you would just like a sandwich.
well, we would just boil it, like, I would boil
Oh, that's
water
right. You
and
said you'd
then
eat it. Okay.
yeah, just dump the whole
Okay.
thing in there.
So
But I
the
would
thing that
always drop the little flavor packet into the boiling water and then have to, like,
yeah.
scramble and dish out. Yeah, it was a
Oh.
whole thing.
So my mom when she cooked it, she would put in an egg throughout the cooking process. So at least it added
Oh,
a little body to the broth.
yes,
She's
yes.
smart. And then as children, we would bring this in a gallon Ziploc bag. And that say we all did this in my school. And then we would like crunch it up like this
Yeah.
and then shake it up with the seasoning and eat it like chips.
I've never eaten it just, like, not boiled and soft. That's interesting.
You look dismayed and I love it.
It's okay. I put Parmesan cheese in mine, so we all have our own little spin on ramen noodles. So, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna bust
Friends
into
in the
these.
chat, did you bring your snacks?
Oh my god, can't even open this. Oh, the frosting. Let's see.
Ooh.
Some sprinkles. All right. I'm ready to chat.
Okay.
Happy as a clam.
All right. So let's talk about PopChat.
Okay.
What is pop? No, I'm not gonna do that. We well, I will just say, the way I know PopChat is it is a weekly chat on Friday mornings or early Friday afternoons, I guess,
Mhm.
where
Here on the East
Bri
Coast.
yeah, where Brianne leads a discussion for anyone who wants to join. It really is open to anyone,
Mhm.
but the topics at hand are related to pop culture. There are marketing questions and sometimes just more topical kind of discussions. And
Mhm.
everyone is welcome to join. The only rule, and I say rule in that like you just join, but like is you introduce yourself. You
Yeah.
join, you say hello, and then you
Mhm.
answer the questions. It's wonderful. I see so many
Thank
interesting
you.
opinions and perspectives in there, and
Yeah.
it's just so much fun. Um,
Thank you.
I don't get to participate too often, but I actually do read them. I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." I'm like, "Oh, I like that."
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear that a lot from people that they go back through and they read them, and
Yeah.
yeah, I feel pretty selfish because I get to learn from so many cool people. Oh, wow, you're really cooking over there. Um, I get to learn from so many people as someone that has to kind of go through and try to reply and read all of these. So they all
Yeah.
have definitely, everyone who participates has definitely made me smarter. But like you said, there's so many different opinions and perspectives and uh, different levels of professionals, mostly
Mhm.
people who work in marketing. But that's kind of before we hopped on here, you complimented me on the questions and how I write them, which I appreciate. But that's one thing I keep in mind when I write them is I try to keep them really open-ended and conducive to sharing your personal opinion and your perspective, because I feel like a lot of times with some of the Twitter chats out there, it's kind of like there's a right answer to every question. And I never
Mm.
wanted there to be like there is one specific right answer, because I feel like
Yeah.
that can be kind of alienating if you feel like you're in competition
Yeah.
with other people who are participating and you're trying to prove that you are the smartest and that you know this more so than someone else. And I never wanted people to feel like that. I wanted it to be more open-ended where people can share their own perspective from their point of view.
Oh,
So
I love that. This is truly like a mind grape explosion kind of moment because that's exactly why I love Pop Chat so much. Like
thank
that's
you.
precisely why I like reading through it because if I wanted the answers to something, I would find the answers to something, right?
Yeah.
Where like in Pop Chat, it's not Q&A, it's a
Mhm.
discussion. It's people talking to each other.
Yeah.
Um, and I really love that it is truly for people at any level of marketing
Mhm.
where everybody has a unique perspective no matter how old you are, no matter how much or how little experience you might have in marketing.
Mhm.
And I just really love that approachability to it because
Thank you.
yeah, to that point, like, when I read the answers, I'm not thinking about, like, "Oh, I know this person is an experienced marketer, therefore I want their opinion." It's,
Yeah.
"I really wanna know what people think about this question."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so true. I mean, you can really learn from anyone at any level. There you go.
Mhm.
How is it?
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Um,
interrupt. I was just
oh,
kind of
no, no,
thinking.
no, all good. Yeah, I really think you can learn from anyone at any different level, and
Mhm.
yeah, I've wanted it to have that approachability where you feel like you can jump in freely and you're not gonna be seen as someone who doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Dan.
Totally. I love that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about how you write the questions. Like so a lot of these questions are they're pretty current. So it's related
Mhm.
to maybe something that happened in the news that week or something that
Yeah.
happened in pop culture that week. When are you normally drafting these questions? And well, we'll start with that. When are you normally writing them?
Thursday nights, pretty down to the wire. Yeah, Thursday nights, like after dinner. But throughout the week, I will bookmark certain things or just like grab links if I see something that's trending, and I won't know what the exact question is going to be, but I'll just make like a bulleted list for the week and go from there. And then yeah, Thursday night I write them and uh, make the graphics and schedule it and get everything ready for Friday morning. But yeah, kind of selfishly, I mean, with these current kind of pop culture types of questions, I always say that I selfishly created the chat that I wanted to participate in. I just felt like, thanks, Brett. I just felt like applying, you know, topics in marketing and different strategies to things that we are already familiar with, things that we're already loving, like music, sports, TV, movies. I just felt like that was a much more fun way to discuss what we were learning and different perspectives in our career. So I wanted to have fun that way, and
Yeah.
I was hoping that that would be the case for other people. And yeah, it has this baked in um, factor where every week it's going to be different. So
Mhm.
that's a huge win.
Yeah. And that's I mean, that's really a big part of marketing, and especially with content, if you were
Mhm.
to look at this as a way of content marketing, where if you're having fun with it is such a big deal. It
Mhm.
shines through in the way you do the work. It shows how much you care. People can see
Yeah.
how much you care, and it just makes it fun for everyone else. Like, when they see that you're having fun, they usually will too.
Yeah.
Also, how do you not have fun with PopChat? It's fun.
Yeah, we have happy hours
Yeah,
and Dunkaroos, all kinds of things.
for
But
sure.
yeah, so that's kind of how it started. And yeah,
Mhm.
I'm so thrilled that people show up every week and also have
Yeah.
fun because, like I said, I didn't know if it was going to take off. It was just something that I decided to do on an impulse. I got the idea to start it the
Mhm.
same day that I actually launched it.
Oh.
And yeah, that's because I didn't give myself time to overthink it and talk myself out of it. I got the idea at like 10 a.m. and by 1 a.m. I like went on Canva, made some graphics and put it out there.
Oh,
So
I love that.
it was a totally impulse decision.
How long have you been doing PopChat?
It was 2 years in January.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy 2nd birthday that just
Thank
passed.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Um, alright, I also wanted to ask, to me, what you do, and how you are is super clear. You teach and talk about marketing through the lens of pop culture, often 90s culture, and that, like, you're a 90s kid, and that makes
Mhm.
sense. That's who you are, it's how you grew up. Um, so I wanna ask you about, how did you, or did you think about your key differentiator?
Yeah. I mean, my differentiator, if that's it, it was who I have been all along, and
Mhm,
I was just portraying something different online at first.
mhm,
Um, you know, I was climbing a corporate ladder, and then I left my job and I decided that I needed to be a little bit more intentional about what I was putting out online because I was going to start freelancing. I was doing the teaching thing. So when I made that shift, I was like, okay, I'm Brianne. I'm the professor. I'm the marketer. I'm the freelancer. So let me paint that picture of who I am. But just for fun, I also had this 90s blog going that had nothing to do with marketing. It was just for
hmm,
fun, you know, blogging about the Backstreet Boys and stuff. And there was one day where I wrote a blog post on that 90s blog that compared how the Backstreet Boys marketed their 2019 album versus their 1999 album, Millennium.
mhm,
And, you know, of course, that was pre social media. So I did like this compare and contrast on the 90s blog. And it was the first time I'd really written about marketing and, you know, my 90s love like that before. I was like, no one else is really going to care about this, but I know who will. I'm going to post this in this official Backstreet Boys Facebook group that I'm in. So I posted it there and I connected with this girl. Her name is Danielle, who hosts a podcast for creative entrepreneurs. And she was like, I'm a huge Backstreet Boys fan. Also, I talk about them on my podcast all the time. I really think my audience will love this topic if you want to come on and speak about it. And it was the first time I'd ever been on a podcast. And I remember hanging up with her and just saying, like, that was the most fun conversation I'd ever had. Like, I don't know what just happened, but it felt so natural. I was like geeking out, but also fangirling at the same time. And I was like, whatever that was, I know I need more of that. And that's just been my personality all along. I'd never paired them in that way before. So I
mhm,
was kind of creating this facade that what didn't really feel like my authentic voice. I had three
mhm.
different blogs and different just personas. It's like, let's just put it all together. Like this is
Yeah.
it.
I love that. So you were already doing all the you were already creating this content, and you made it more efficient for yourself. You were like, "Let's combine
Yeah.
it all. This is me, and this is how I teach." I love it.
Yeah, and I didn't know if it would resonate with anyone else, talking about marketing lessons from the Spice Girls. I'm thinking like I might be one of the only few people on the planet who are still thinking about the Spice Girls, 30, 25 years later.
Mhm.
But I didn't let that scare me. I was like, people might like this. I might alienate people who don't like this type of music or this era, but that's okay. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
to be all things to all people. And I think that's something that I know you've probably spoken to, and a lot of people here know as well. So I just kept
Yeah.
reminding myself of that.
Yeah, it's totally true. You don't have to be all you shouldn't be all things to all
Yeah.
people, really. And I love the idea. I mean, that's why I really also feel like when someone is creating content or when they're marketing something to someone,
Hmm.
a really good way to go about it, especially if you are a solo creator or solo team, is marketing slash talking to yourself from 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Like that, like kind of like how can you be the person or the mentor that you wanted 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a good reminder because even thinking about how I got into this field of marketing, the way that I know that world is growing up reading all of my little teeny bopper magazines and flipping through, and I was the nerd who would look at the ads, and I used to want to go into magazine editing and design layouts,
Mm.
and I just consumed those magazines a little bit differently than my peers and friends did, but that's how I got introduced to marketing, in my opinion.
Yeah. I love it. All right. We gotta get to our next segment.
Okay,
Our
I'm
next
busted into
segment
the
is
gushers now.
yeah,
So
and I have my Otter Pop. Um,
good flavor.
my favorite flavor is blue for, like, all these flavored things, whatever
Yeah,
they are, it's always blue.
always the blue.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to
I'll
say it.
go
I
with
don't
the
like to
blue.
say ooh, yum. I don't always like to say blue raspberry because I feel like it's more accurate to say my favorite flavor is blue.
That's a lot more fun. And is there even such a thing as a blue raspberry? I don't really. Did they
That
like just make
too!
it?
That isn't even a thing.
Yeah. I don't really get
Okay,
it.
our next segment is Pop Chat. It's more Pop Chat.
More pop
So,
chat.
I thought it would be fun because you were always the one asking the questions on Twitter. We don't always get to hear from you. So, let's
Yeah.
go through a couple of the Pop Chat questions, and then we can take turns answering them.
Which is probably a mistake because I noticed other Twitter chat hosts actually go through and answer the questions as well. And I'm like, okay, I don't
Oh.
have time for that. I don't want
Yeah. I mean, I
to.
am curious what you think, but, of
Mhm.
course, like, I wanna know.
Yeah.
But I also think I don't know, I guess I'm inclined to agree with you and your take on it because then it just becomes you talking to yourself all the
It's like a
time.
little condescending, I feel like. I
Kinda,
don't know.
right? Like, I
I
wanna
don't
hear
know.
what you have to say, but
Mhm.
yeah. Hmm. Kushan is wondering, doesn't Costco have alcoholic Otter Pops? I don't know.
Oh,
Love
it's
them.
a game changer.
Yeah,
Have we ever tried soaking gushers in vodka? I know people do that with gummy bears, but that would
that's
be like
brilliant. Can you
a whole
imagine
new
biting into a
experience.
gusher and then
Yeah.
vodka explodes into your
Yeah.
mouth?
Yeah. Yes, they should just change the filling.
Okay, first pop chat question.
Okay. Oh, I did kind of answer this one.
Mhm.
Um, so TikTok, you probably heard, is introducing 10-minute videos now. So I asked how that's going to affect TikTok and just creators and also YouTube and just other competitors. And one thing that I mentioned is that I feel like that is really going to help solidify that vertical video is the default. I remember I did a
Mm.
poll on Twitter a while ago. I was like, you only have one opportunity to film something on video. You have to capture it. What are you, not to quote Eminem a little bit, but what format are you filming it in? Are you going to shoot in vertical format or landscape? And a lot of people said vertical is kind of
Mm.
eclipsing horizontal format. So I feel like now that people can do long form on TikTok, I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot more vertical. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, like, I hadn't thought about the vertical versus horizontal video thing in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, to that point, the only time that I really do hate vertical video is if I'm watching on YouTube.
Yes.
Then that's when it's like, this is not optimized for this, and that bothers
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be it's strange when I see, or it would be very strange to see a horizontal video on TikTok or on,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also, I like the constraint of having a short video on TikTok because now that you have 10 whole
Mhm.
minutes, I feel like people aren't going to be getting to the point as quickly. Like, I think about
Yeah.
recipe videos. I don't really have the patience to watch a recipe on YouTube
Mhm.
for however long, but if they have to give me the full recipe in under 2 or 3 minutes, like, you have my attention. But now that they
Yeah.
can go to 10 minutes, I don't know if I would stick around.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not good at TikTok.
Yeah.
As a I mean, I'm saying this as a consumer, like,
Yeah.
as when if I'm not hooked within the first, like, 2 seconds, and it really is literally probably 2 seconds, I'm
Mhm.
out. Doesn't matter what it is, for me personally. If it's a
Yeah.
recipe, whatever it is, I'm out immediately.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's just I'm always gonna feel like I'm just gonna look it up later. Like, I don't, if I need this, I'm just gonna Google it, and it's gonna be different information, but I
Yeah.
don't care. Like, I just don't want this. But that's
Yeah.
just me. So, yeah.
Are you the type that prefers video over reading something? Because I'm still, yeah, I still would
Mm.
prefer to Google and just kind of skim through an article and find what I need.
Yeah, I prefer to read over
Yeah,
video. And
me too.
even, yeah, like, even YouTube videos, like, I know that, I mean, it's hard to say, have a catch-all opinion on YouTube videos, because it's all the content is very different, and it's optimized for
Mhm.
very different things. But what I don't like in YouTube videos is I don't like when there are no chapters, because, and that's, I
Yeah.
say that because whenever I look up a YouTube video, it's because I'm looking for a specific tutorial, or, like, how to do
Mhm.
something. So
Yeah.
if it's like how to, um we'll just make something up, how to do whatever functionality in Zoom, right?
Mhm.
That's super specific. I want to get to the features. I want to know how to do it. If they spend the first, like, minute talking about, so you might want to be on Zoom because you're hosting a webinar, I bet
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. And if there are no chapter markers, I'm out. I'm just, this is not great, but this is what I do.
Yeah.
I will just be like, I'm not gonna know the answer then. I'm not gonna be able to do this thing. I'm just not
Yeah.
doing this.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm also afraid to talk now because I bet my tongue is blue. Let me do these. Let's see. Yep. Oh boy.
How were the gushers?
They were better than I even remember. I don't
Mhm.
remember eating a lot of these as a kid. But yeah, highly recommend.
Hmm.
People want to trip down memory lane.
Um,
Um,
we're coming up on time, but do you have a couple of minutes left? Are you
I
good?
do. Yeah.
Okay. We'll go a bit longer.
Yeah.
All right. Next question, and I will open my next food item.
Okay. I'm
I
not done
have
with my
I
Dunkaroos.
have warheads. I'm gonna eat a black cherry warhead.
Oh, I could never handle those. I'm a wuss.
All right. What is our next pop chat question?
Oh,
All right, I don't
me.
have it in
No, it's
front of
good.
me.
How can a career break? Oh, so this is talking about the LinkedIn career breaks feature, which I actually learned about from Kushan. Thank you. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. Um, did you hear about this?
What? No.
So the career breaks feature on LinkedIn. So now,
Mm-mm.
if you have a gap in your career, you can actually indicate that with like a drop down that has options like bereavement or travel or full time parenting.
Hmm.
So I just ask people generally, how can a career break make you a better employee in the long run? So again, very open ended. Like, that's someone's opinion.
Mhm.
It's not so black and white. But yeah, I've never really taken a hard career break, but I did transition from corporate life to freelancing, and that was pretty quick because what I did there is I just while I was working full time, I was also teaching one class at UF. And when I quit my job, I immediately called UF and I was like, I need more courses. Like, I need work, help. So I've immediately just been teaching ever since then. So teaching has been a constant, but it's very flexible. So that has helped me kind of build PopChat, build the podcast, and figure out all this like random 90s stuff I'm doing now. So yeah, that break has helped me just reflect on what my next move is going to be. And that's one thing I always say is that personal branding is about reflection versus reinvention. And at first I was reinventing myself versus reflecting on things that I already loved and things that already brought me joy and how to communicate that with authenticity. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was the benefit for me. Have you ever taken a career break?
Yeah, I've taken a couple.
Mhm.
They were not always purposeful. So the first
Mhm.
career break I took was in my mid 20s. I was going from tech journalism and wanted to
Mm.
become a food writer. And that was when
Ooh.
I did culinary school. I had saved up money to be fun employed so that I could look for a job as a food writer. And
Oh.
that was how I got into content marketing because
Mhm.
I realized there are not a lot of food writing jobs. There are like two of them in the country. They're all taken.
Mm.
But content marketing was still kind of emerging thing. And then
Mhm.
when I learned about it, I was like, "Oh, I can do that. I can write things." And
Yeah.
I have some food expertise now.
Mhm.
So that was how I got into content marketing for a food startup. Um and then
So cool.
the second break I took was between jobs where I had just had my toddler. Well, he was a baby then.
Mhm.
Um, and I wanted some more flexibility in terms of just being able to be more present with my family, but
Mhm.
also be able to make money,
Yeah.
because I need money to survive. And was doing I did this solo consultant thing for like about a
Mhm.
year.
Yeah. Hmm.
So kind of a break.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the new LinkedIn functionality then that you can add? What's your
Um,
opinion of that as a feature in
well,
LinkedIn?
I mean, what they're trying to do is kind of normalize the idea of taking a career break. But
Mhm,
Catherine, who was, I don't know if she's here, but was participating,
mhm,
she mentioned something that did cross my mind is that is it's just going to highlight your break even more, whereas before it might have just been a non-issue that people just didn't even discuss and just kind of glossed over.
mhm.
But I don't know. I feel like the pandemic has made us a lot more forgiving of circumstances and, just all the curveballs that come our way. So
Yeah,
I hope it changes that.
yeah, I hope so.
Mhm.
I think it's interesting. Oops, hadn't heard of it until you mentioned it just now. Um, because my instinct and look, I I'm kind of a, Debbie Downer. Like, I my my husband describes me as, "I hate everything until I like it," and it's absolutely true. So, my
Mhm.
instinctive reaction was, "I don't like this feature." Um,
Mhm.
in my mind, or my instinct is then that calls attention to what you said Catherine said, calls attention to the break that you had. But
Yeah.
also my thought is I don't owe anyone an explanation for if I took a break, and I don't think anyone
Mhm.
owes me one. I think there's a little bit of, like,
Mm.
I don't know, I kind of feel like
None of
it's a
your
little
beeswax kind of thing.
yeah, it's a little paternalistic to me where, like,
Mm.
I worry that it's calling attention to it,
Mhm.
um, and it makes someone feel even more that they have to explain themselves because the feature's there when, like, I
Mm.
just but that's my perspective is it's normal to take a break. I
Yeah.
don't have any stigma behind it. Like, if
Yeah.
I were interviewing a candidate, let's say I was hiring for someone on my team and I
Mhm.
noticed they had a break, I might ask about it, but I wouldn't
Mhm.
say like I might say like, "Oh, like what happened in this gap here? Did you take a break?"
Mhm.
If it was bereavement, I don't really expect someone to share that with me because it's also
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm interested in people. I'd be interested to know, but if someone doesn't want to talk about maybe a terrible car accident that a
Yeah.
loved one had, like, they don't need to talk about that in a job interview.
Yes.
They don't owe me that. So, that's
Mhm.
where I feel weird about it, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
That's
in the
an excellent
chat,
point.
Joe said he likes the feature or, he said he like it there's a new brand mantra of what all professional life encompasses. So,
Mhm.
I do like that notion of normalizing it, but
Yeah.
I guess in my mind, it is normal. And maybe that's the
Mm.
wrong approach. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or wrong thought.
Yeah. No, those are excellent points. Yeah, we don't really owe anyone those explanations. These are yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see if people use
We'll
it.
see. Yeah, I
I'm
think it's
not going back.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's interesting, and I think it's good to have different opinions and stuff, but
Mhm.
hmm,
Huh.
yeah.
Good
Should we get into our
dialogue.
last question?
Yes. What did I ask? Oh, this is fun. This is about vinyl records. So, Forbes declared Taylor Swift as the vinyl queen of the world because she has two of her albums in the top 10 best-selling vinyls of 2021. We
Huh.
also have Olivia Rodrigo and Billie Eilish in the top 10. Adele was number one, but lots of kind of millennial, kind of Gen Z fan type of artists. But I ask people, why is vinyl succeeding even in the world of streaming? It's probably, at least from my experience, it's probably succeeding because once you buy one, you have to buy them all. I started collecting Britney vinyls, which was a mistake. Because now I
Really?
just
You
need
have
them
so
all.
many?
Well, I collect them, but I don't really listen to them. I have
Mhm.
this weird thing where I feel like I shouldn't open them, which makes
Mm.
zero sense. I don't think they're going to be valuable one day, but I don't know. I don't think I prefer to listen to them on vinyl. I like having it, but I'd rather just stream it than like getting it out and, I don't know. My record player is like far away. If I'm at my computer, I want control. But yeah, a lot of the conversation was about just the fact that it's vinyl is an experience. And I do miss that experience, growing up in my bedroom with my giant boombox and my CDs. So I would probably go back to that if I really wanted an experience. But I guess if Gen Z, they kind of skipped the whole CD generation. So they're like, ooh, vinyls,
Yeah.
It could be it. I don't know. Do you listen to vinyls?
I don't know. I
Hmm.
had an old roommate who did, and then
Mm-hmm.
she showed me how to use it. I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool." It was
Mm-hmm.
like to me, it was, "This is the coolest thing that I will never do." It's like
Exactly. Yeah. Like the novelty kind
yeah,
of wears off for me.
yeah,
But yeah, I do know some people that love it though.
yeah,
And I'm happy to hear it's doing well. It's good for record stores. And
yeah, that's cool.
um, I heard at the beginning of the pandemic, not the beginning, but when Taylor Swift released Folklore, that surprise album in July of 2020, she actually went through and signed like 100 copies that she would ship to record stores. And they would each get like, I could be wrong if it was 100 copies, but she would send a shipment of signed copies to these mom and pop record stores just for free
Oh,
to have them sell and to help them get back on their feet in the pandemic, which was really cool.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really oh,
Gotta love her. I mean, are
that
you
makes me like her
surprised?
even more.
It's
No,
Taylor
but
Swift.
that's so thoughtful. Like, that is, as a marketer, I'm like, that is such a huge value add that is kind of free for her,
Mhm.
and everyone wins.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
All right, well, we should wrap up because
Okay.
we I know you got places to be.
I've got
Um,
Dunkaroos to
you
finish.
got
And,
Dunkaroos to finish. I have a dry, crunchy Maruchan ramen to shame
delish.
eat, quietly. Um, so, what can we promote for you? Where can the
Oh,
people find you? Plug your stuff. Your
yeah.
brand.
I'm trying to get back into my podcast rhythm. So, yeah, I would love some listens of the Making the Brand podcast. I have almost 60 episodes, but I'm trying to keep adding new ones. But if you haven't gone through all 50-ish episodes, please do. It's called Making the Brand. So I appreciate it. Disappointed in the lack of Gogurt and Danimals. I did bring Nesquik that I was gonna make.
Oh, yeah. Do you wanna make it?
I don't
I
know.
kind of wanna see you drink it.
Okay, fine. I do have
Yes!
these cute straws that I
Oh,
bought.
that's so cute.
But I did want to talk about this because do you remember when it just used to be Quick? Anyone?
Yeah, Nestle Quick,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know why they made it Nesquik. I think that was a silly decision.
You're right, it was Nestle Quick. I think
It was just Quick, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I should probably put this in first. Capri Sun. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, I hope you're still here. I don't want you to miss the Nesquik.
Oh my gosh. I was telling Amanda that I only bought the powder version instead of the like prepackaged version because the sugar content on the prepackaged version was insane. So I was like, okay, if I get this, then I can just control how much I put. But it didn't give me a little scoop.
There's no scoop in there? Maybe
No.
it's, like, in the
Let's see. Nope. They just want you to use all of it.
You're just like, "Go for it. You're on your own, kids."
Oh my gosh. I could go for a Go-Gurt right now though, but
Go-Gurt was good.
okay. Is that enough? I don't know. A whole thing of milk at my desk.
Oh.
But yeah, Nesquik. I was very disappointed in the name change
Yeah,
as a kid.
that is disappointing. I was a strawberry kinda Nesquik
The
kid.
strawberry was
Mhm.
good. But I don't know if they sell like the strawberry as a powder form. All right.
Yum.
Wait, you gotta listen to it too. Needs a little more stirring, but oh yeah, that tastes like childhood. That tastes like a hot Florida day running around in my front yard.
I love that.
This was so fun.
So
Who is your
fun.
next guest?
My next guest so we are skipping next week. We are back the week after with
Okay.
Val Giesler. Be fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
fun. What are you gonna eat? We'll have to figure that out.
I don't know. We were talking about that. I don't know. We're both Olipop fans, so part of me wants to like just drink Olipop, but
You should
we're
make
doing
Olipop
something.
root beer floats.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
I've done
think
it.
we might do
Highly
that.
recommend it.
Okay, that's
So.
a good idea. Also, maybe I was wrong. Maybe her name is Val Geisler, and I haven't asked her how to pronounce her last name yet. And
Oh,
that is a
happens.
terrible faux pas on my part.
It
And
happens.
this is
I won't
live and
judge.
it's here.
But I did love your tip on your website, saying
Yeah.
having a little recording of how to pronounce your name. I think that's genius.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
All right, people. So you can find Brianne's podcast, Making the Brand, on podcast players. Download. And then your personal site is briannefleming.com. Right?
Yes.
You have a newsletter, so
Oh yeah, I
subscribe.
do. I always
Oh,
forget
thank
about
you.
that. Yeah, please subscribe. Subscribe to the newsletter. I'm very close to my first 1K, which I'm excited about. My little
Ooh.
1,000. I'm getting there. I'm at like 950 right now, but it's been a long journey. This time 2 years ago, I was paying for ConvertKit and was just terrified to email people until someone on Twitter saw me tweet that I was terrified to email my list, and he said, I will Venmo you $5 if you send an email within the next hour.
That's so
And
funny.
since then, I've been consistent. It's weird.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
All
Thanks.
right, we dropped it
Kyle.
here. Hopefully this is correct.
Aw.
Brianne TK.
Yes,
Follow
it
you on
is.
Twitter.
Thank you so
All right, friend.
much. Have a
Thank you,
great
everyone.
weekend,
You
everyone.
too. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brianne. Ooh, Kushan says ginger lemon Olipop plus whiskey. Got to do that.
Oh,
Gonna
wow.
make that at some point.
Sounds like a good PopChat happy hour recipe too.
Oh, heck yeah.
Do that.
All right. Bye, friends. Thank you for
Bye.
joining. Kyle,
Thank you so
Beth,
much. Oh, thanks,
Kim,
Beth.
Joe.
You're a subscriber.
So nice. Oh.
Getting there. Thank you so much.
Bye.